Time given an opportunity to bring you what's making headlines right here on Nile Avenue. News Tonight is here to bring you what's making headlines. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni, has encouraged the older generation in the NRM party to remain active by providing guidance to the younger generation in their communities. She said that the old age is a gift from God, and like all things, God gives it as a purpose. Mrs. Museveni was meeting all the persons of the NRM party in Ntungamo district, who she hosted at her home in Irenga. We have details.
While speaking with the older persons of the NRM party in Ntungamo district, whom she hosted at her home at Irenga, Ntungamo, the persons were drawn from Kajara, Rushenyi, Ruhama East, and Ntungamo municipality constituencies. Mrs. Museveni opined that corruption is broader than stealing money.
Mwene virevi nimura corruption, abantu nibagamba corruption. Haza abantu bundu nibatekateka corruption nikimanyisa okwiba sente kyonka. Corruption tikikumanyisa okwiba sente kyonka. Nikimanyisa okukora ebihagaro miringo yona.
She further noted that when a generation raises up without the fear of God in their hearts, they cast off all forms of restraint and indulge in corruption. Mama Janet observed that nowadays, the indiscipline observed in the young generations reflects leaderlessness in the family. She used the Runyankore proverb which states, when the head of the family remains silent, the family dies away. Mrs. Museveni decried the culture of silence by those that are expected to speak up whenever the government programs are not being implemented as they ought to be.
Okubeta kwanje nyono kubejutya okwanjisiriza nikimanyisa ki rwanjisiriza irwanda ki okutahonama rwanjisiriza no kwanga ukagiye tutindi kwija kuhonama nankino rurimi n'urugamba ninja kubagambira yaba muhurure binkugamba yaba mukiriza konka nyowe rango bwakimpeyira amagara bwakimpeyira ururimi n'ingamba ninja kubagambira urukwenda kurra nka Bible okwegamba urukwenda kurra ahurure mbwene mureke tukwatanise tufo kutandikira ari Ntungamo tuombeke Ntungamo eyo businge erukukwatanisa erukurondana erukurwanisa ebihagaro byona eby'umuringo gwona kandi numbimanye bitakorwa ebitashemerere gukorwa.
The NRM opinion leaders from Ntungamo district reported that the NRM party was progressing and becoming stronger. They thank God for keeping President Museveni in leadership over the years.
Twenda kubasima abo kundi hanga ryitu mukatukunda nk'abantu ba Uganda.
Ogungo muhanda niyo nkizo yarije kutubasa twenda twaba a combined effort tukakwatanisa na government na muzeyi niwe mamitu ehangari kagendo mesho tukahugura abana nubwo murumo gwitu nkitwa abanaka bakirinju kandi opinion leaders
abagurusi bakerundana batandika ekigombi nibacheta elders cha municipality abagurusi abo nambwe nibakwetenga ngo baganire niwe ahabo kuba obwire burengire kandi mama we bare icyo wakoreye kine cyamani twakikusimira mama
ibyanjye no bimanya nkatandikaira ndi akatsigaza mbwe hata nanyo nore kunyino ruhara nambwe iki kushaba mama nyo ntaho kuninkora debo kuno ngo mshuruzi wanje hata ngambo barayizinga bari kumurwenda kinana bona nyakera narikono bona naba mobilizing.
Reporting for UBC, Baguma William.
Now, in Parliament, the mover and seconders of the motion to impeach four backbench parliamentary commissioners are to write a notice to the Speaker of Parliament through the clerk on Monday next week, requesting to have their motion put on order paper for debate. While updating the media on the exercise of the signatures and motion, the mover, who is also the Member of Parliament Nyaga, Theodore Sechikubo, said they have got now 186 signatures, exceeding the required number of 177 signatures. Let's hear more in this report.
We have Kariro District 0. We have Aleptong District 0.
The move of the motion to impeach four backbench commissioners, Theodore Sechikubo, has released unsigned on the list of members of parliament who have appended their signatures to the censure motion. The list of 186 signatures is to be attached to a written notice. The motion and evidence accompanying the motion that will be forwarded to the clerk to Parliament on Monday. According to Sechikubo, the clerk at receipt of the notice has 24 hours to forward the motion to the Speaker of Parliament, who has 14 days to put it on the order paper for debate.
I urge the Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Nita Among, not to wait for the 14 days. This is a matter that is so urgent. Submit on Monday. Starting from Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, we expect the Speaker to convene Parliament for the purposes of debating this motion.
Sechikubo and Sewongu are ready to battle with those who are to defend the motion with doctored documents on floor of Parliament. Asuman Basalirwa is the other legislator who does not concur with Mr. Sechikubo's motion.
Forgery is because you want to defeat a motion. You are calling the Budget Committee, you are calling the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee to manipulate the minutes, to doctor the reports. Why don't you know that there's no report that was not uploaded in our systems? We have all these reports. So what are you going to manipulate? Because you fear somebody. Give people money, then at the same time censor them for being corrupt. Did they give the money to themselves? Was the money approved through the right processes of Parliament? And those are the questions that we shall be asking on the floor. So if the money was approved by Parliament, then where is our complaint?
The list indicates that districts like Mobende, Butambala and Mukono performed well, while districts like Kazo, Ibanda, Mayuge, Ajumani and Bokede, among others, scored 0. Some MPs say if they had not come out with this censure motion, people would keep on stealing taxpayers' money.
Chotera district, F9, no members signed. Ruero, Rengo, F9. Diantonde, workers MPs, only one. With all the challenges we have with the workers, UPDF 0.
This is the time to release Parliament, and each and every commissioner, wherever you are, you should know that we are doing God's work. And when we finish this, you should thank God that He has taken you out of the mess. Otherwise, if we had not come up with this, you would keep on stealing government money.
The exercise of collecting signatures is still on until Monday next week. I'm Navka Farida and Gloria Gwitabinji at Parliament.
Thank you very much there, Navka Farida. Now, traders who threatened to protest by closing their shops and businesses over IFRI's taxation system have called off the strike after 2 days. The suspension of the strike follows officials' communication from the office of the Prime Minister indicating that the President would meet them anytime. Ivan Jiko has more.
The background of the traders' strike started after Uganda Revenue Authority introduced an electronic tax payment system, IFRIS, which the traders defied, coupled with overwhelming taxes and foreign traders, among other concerns. Since then, they have called on fellow traders to close their businesses, calling for government's attention. The situation prompted the chairman of Kampala City Traders Association, Kasita Thaddeus Nagenda, to lead a delegation of the business community to meet the president at State House on 19th April 2024, who availed himself to a detailed dialogue with the traders at Kololo ceremonial grounds in June this year.
Nga tolina IFRIS bakuwa penalty ya milioni 8.
Is not too much per level
kubanga si mungi nnyo ku buli ddala,
and it brings more money for the government,
ate kireeta sente nyingi mu gavumenti,
and it protects our factories,
ate ne kikugira oba ne kikuuma factories zaffe, companies zaffe ezikola ebintu wano mu ggwanga obutagwa.
However, President Museveni promised to meet them again on 31st July after analyzing their issues.
Duayo okutuuka omwezi ogw'omusanvu nga 31.
Twala omukisa guno okowola abasuubuzi mwenna okwetoloola eggwanga nti mujje Kololo ng'ennaku z'omwezi 31 ogw'omusanvu, ate mu ngeri y'emu ne mbasaba okubeera abakkakkamu kubanga ebintu byonna bisigadde nga bikyali on hold nga bwe yayogera.
Unfortunately, that meeting was postponed due to ongoing renovations of Kololo Independence Grounds. This postponement, however, caused the recent strike, where the traders decided to close business.
The president is slow on taking a decision, and they will have no problem with that. Leaders who started the struggle can watch while the traders are leading themselves into uncontrollable heights.
Tomorrow, 31st, all traders have agreed to close their shops just because of one thing. Our president has postponed our meeting.
Following a meeting with the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robin Anabanja, the traders have now decided to call off their strike.
Where I have been summoned by the late Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, with the word from the President to meet and resolve the impasse. I would like to inform the business community that issues have been deliberated upon. We have had the landlords, some of them. We have had the Attorney General, the Inspector General of Police, the Prime Minister chairing the meeting, among other government officials. Issues have been analyzed, and what we have agreed is that we are waiting for an official communication by the Prime Minister with instructions from the President.
Almost 100% resolved that let us resume operations tomorrow. So I appeal to traders, let us respect this resolution. Is for our own will and our own good, so that tomorrow we operate normally. Now the President hasn't given us the specific date, but there is commitment. That's why the traders had to respect the position of the government.
Through a statement, Premier Robin Anabanja revealed to the traders that the president will meet them any time from now, and by 6 a.m. Friday, some shops had opened up, and by noon, it was business as usual.
That writes my letters. Please go and draft this.
I submit.
President, senior landlord, senior ministers, namwe mwenna. Olunaku lw'enkya tugenda okugazeetinga regulations eziraga oba ezirambika obulungi amateeka agalina okugobererwa ba landlord ne ba tenants.
Ebintu byonna biri bulungi. Waliwo obubiina obutonotono obubuzaabuza ne batuuka okulowooza nti balandlord baggala ebizimbe. Ebizimbe ffe banga balandlord tetulina mutawaana, era ebizimbe batuwadde n'assurance wano nti security weeri. So mbuulira batenansi baffe mugulewo ebizimbe peacefully, muleke kwefiiriza.
Tunyingiriza buli wamu naye okuva leetuguddewo amaduuka buli kimu kigenda tambula bulungi mukama wange.
Tutandise tuguddewo naye era nga tukyalimu era akatenga akabaddewo wakyaliwo naye nga be batono era nabo nkiwasa nga 7-8 bajja kuba baguddewo.
KCCA kept on chasing vendors off streets and those who sell their merchandise in front of shops and arcades. I'm Ivan Juko for UBC.
Now about the China and Uganda relationship, the Chinese ambassador to Uganda, His Excellency Zhang Lizong, together with officials from Huawei, has hailed a warm diplomatic relationship between China and Uganda that spans more than 60 years. He says China and Uganda continue to relate well in all sectors like infrastructure, education, and health, among others. Ambassador Zhang made these remarks during a China-Uganda Friendship Day celebration held at Seta High School, Mbalala campus in Mukono.
Celebrations to mark the China-Uganda Friendship Day running under the theme Friendship, Culture and Unity have been held at Seta High School, Mbalala campus. Addressing the gathering, the Chinese ambassador to Uganda recounted the long-standing friendship between China and Uganda spanning various sectors.
The cooperation between China and Uganda covers many areas. In the food security, but also it is also in the school, in the education field. For example, China, FAO, and Uganda are working together to proceed with the school feeding programs in Kalamoja areas. This year, we have initiated new rounds of cooperation in China, Uganda, and FAO. Under this program, about 160,000 children from over 300 schools in Kalamoja will be benefited from these food programs.
Huawei's managing director Sunrise Z revealed that the China-Uganda friendship is premised on mutual respect and cooperation. He also highlighted that as a technological company, Huawei will continue to deepen Uganda's quest for accelerated digital transformation.
Huawei Technologies has been privileged to be a part of Uganda's journey towards digital transformation since 2001. Our commitment to innovation and technological achievement is not just about the business. It is also about enriching lives and building a greater future for all.
On his part, the principal of Seta Schools, Kafumbe Davis, who represented the State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. Chrysostom Yingo, hailed China's long-standing relationship with Uganda.
We share several things in common, several dreams, and as you must have heard from the children who are here, Your Excellency, together we can build the future. Allow me thank and congratulate Huawei Technologies. I have heard with admiration this company in the development of so many sectors in this country. As we continue to nurture and strengthen this bond of friendship, Huawei Technologies are worthy partners. But we look forward to your cooperation as we introduce Chinese language to be part of our curriculum.
The China-Uganda Friendship Day featured numerous activities such as a medical camp, fine art drawing competitions, and painting. Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
Now, Minister for Internal Affairs Major General Kahindo Tafere has urged senior police officers to respect their superiors and de-associate themselves from indulging in corruption tendencies. Tafere was officiating a pass-out of 43 senior police officers who successfully completed a one-year training course at Webaja.
43 senior police officers have successfully completed a one-year training course at Webaja Senior Staff Command College.
Joined the police in 2007.
During the awarding ceremony of the senior police officers in Iwewaja, the Minister for Internal Affairs, Major General Kahindo Tafire, lectured officers on their responsibilities.
So you in the police force and prison service, your job as leaders is to solve the problems of your followers, to adequately give them a sense of direction. You should learn to communicate with the societies you lead. I am now tired of doing the Inspector General's work.
Watafire also advised police officers against disrespecting their superiors.
Since he didn't make you RPC, respect the RPC. Whatever you are doing, before you report your head, make sure your RPC knows what you are doing.
He warned senior police officers against indulging in corruption tendencies and asked relevant authorities to investigate all government officials accused of participating in corruption issues.
All of us in the leadership, if we are accused of corruption, should be investigated, including me. I've had people accusing me of stealing government land. Njeru, land administration is scientific. Land administration is a science. It's not a prayer, it's not wishful thinking. If you want to accuse Otafire, go and investigate.
Uganda Police Services is implementing the 9-point strategy of fighting crime in the country and prioritizing human capacity and community engagement in averting community crimes. The Inspector General of Police, Abbas Byakagaba, also echoed on rapidly increasing crime rate and technological trends that will need more attention.
The Uganda Police is cognizant of this rapidly evolving global crime trend and the challenges technological development and world global village brings along. I wish to report, sir, that the force multipliers have significantly contributed to supporting reduction in crime in the country, as indicated in the recently released crime report 2023-24.
Honorable Minister, we are working on the accreditation program for this college and all training institutions of the Uganda Police Force. We are already in high gear with the National Council for Higher Education.
Bwebaja Staff Police Command College aims at fostering professionalism among police officers by equipping them with intellectual and practical skills that are required in securing life, rights, property, and dignity of public they serve. Crispus Arinitwe, Sula Kagugube, UBC News.
Well, thank you very much there, Crispus Arinitwe, plus the team. Now, senior police officers from the Department of Community Policing, led by Commissioner of Police Mutererwa Anatoli, along with officials from the Youth Integrated Development Organization, YIDO, have embarked on a student and teacher sensitization campaign on how to prevent crimes in school.
About how it's going to start, so we can say prime gravida at 49.
Breastfeeding activists are calling upon the government to set up conducive breastfeeding spaces at workplaces. They also want breast milk banks introduced in different general and national hospitals across the country. Dr. Daniel Chabainze, the Director of Public Health at the Ministry of Health, noted that the current rate of exclusive breastfeeding stands at 87%, short of 90% target.
Breastfeeding is one of the most effective investments a country can make to ensure a smarter, healthier, and productive population. So part of the work of Ministry of Health is to recommend, our recommendation on the infant and young child feeding are very clear. Let me enumerate them. Number one, initiation of breastfeeding within 1 hour of life, soon after the child is born. Number two, exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life, meaning add nothing else other than the child breastfeeding. Continued breastfeeding for up to 1 year. And for those for HIV mothers, or 2 years and beyond for those who are HIV negative mothers. But we already know that we are moving towards zero transmission of HIV from mother to child, so we are sure that won't be applicable soon.
We were at 66% of exclusive breastfeeding. Now we have jumped to 87% of exclusive breastfeeding. And I want to inform the members here that we would like even to increase it to 90%, if possible 100%.
The Nutrition Department and the Ministry of Health highlighted the ongoing efforts by government to increase breastfeeding rates.
All the stakeholders, and through the implementation of the baby-friendly health initiative, we see improvement. Mothers have the knowledge now. Mothers are able to get support to breastfeed effectively, and we have seen through that 16 health facilities are now baby friendly.
Let's look at how to close the gaps. There's still huge gaps that exist across the country. Christine has mentioned the issues around low birth weight, and low birth weight children are particularly much more vulnerable to breastfeeding compared to other children.
World over, the first week of August is observed as Breastfeeding Week. This global campaign aims at raising breastfeeding awareness and its advantages. The theme for 2024 is Closing the Gap, Breastfeeding Support for All. Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
Well, we do apologize for we had called for a community policing story, but of course that was a story about a breastfeeding campaign that has been launched at the Ministry of Health headquarters in Kampala. Now back to the policing story. Senior police officers from the Department of Community Policing, led by the Commission of Police Muleterwa Anatori, along with officials from Youth Integrated Development Organization YIDO, have embarked on a student and teacher sensitization campaign on how to prevent crimes in schools.
Strikes and violence in schools are usually a recurring event. Schools have a responsibility to provide a safe and secure working and learning environment for all students, teachers, and non-teaching staff.
You cannot attain the second degree of academic success when you do not have general discipline. One, respect, hard work, morality, associated with the interpersonal skills, to mention but a few.
To look for national bodies like Uganda Police Force and work in partnership for the good of our community.
Police, in liaison with Youth Integrated Development Organization YIDO, developed a policing strategy to fight crimes through Schools Against Crime. Students from St. Peter's SS Nalia gathered at their school campus to listen and learn about vigilance and how to fight pet crimes that often take them unaware at their school.
We are at St. Peter's Nalia, conscious of the fact that many of these youths are getting moral decay and therefore getting involved in criminal activities such as strikes, drug abuse, thefts, getting involved in human trafficking, and many more.
The Commissioner of Community Policing at Uganda Police Force, Muleterwa Anatori, outlined the need to sensitize students in order to transform the society.
It is our mandate. We have come to this school, one of it being with a very high population, to mobilize and conscientize them so that they can stay knowing that if they get involved in such acts, then they will be violating the law and we shall be going in for them.
Sensitize and train our children on how best they can contribute to a crime-free society. And definitely through our interaction, we came to realize that there is a lot that needs to be changed. For example, they do not know why they are deceived that taking a drug escalates their level of doing things.
School violence includes drug use, strikes, vandalism, bullying, and theft, which are costly and interfere with academics.
But what we need is continuously remind them. So we are going to strengthen our collaboration, our partnership, and ensuring that indeed each and every one of us becomes conscientized on what their role play.
The main purpose of Schools Against Crime Club formation is to provide learners with education foundation from which they can build a successful independent life. Haruna Mutesasira, UBC News.
Now, leaders of Ntungamo, Okabale and Barara are requesting for a continuation of Uganda to support municipal infrastructure development projects. This follows the end of the 10 years old municipal infrastructure development programs USMID that closed 30th June 2024. The project has provided for great progress in many urban areas through urban infrastructure, waste management, capacity building, institutional strengthening, among others.
This is the sky view of Kabale municipality in the Kigezi sub-region of western Uganda. It was earmarked for a city status in the next financial year. This created the need for improved infrastructural facilities. This is why both the original Uganda support to municipal infrastructure development and its additional funding were embraced. A lot has since changed.
At least we have Sim Tamak is on compacting to apply pavers for walkways, and we are yet to see the street lights being installed.
The progress may have been slow, but it is promising. From the roads to street lights and parking, as well as pedestrian walkways, Kabale is on the path to advancement.
The street lights, of course, it will also improve our security, because when we have the street lights, which normally we call security lights, people will be able to move at night without being hidden. So USMID is the way to go, and it's a program that I've seen, a program for results.
Perhaps the municipality that it is will one day attain a city status just like Mbarara did. An aerial view indicates Mbarara as a city that has made progress part of its vocabulary. And one way that this success has been attained is through embracing USMID.
If we are going to most of these roads where these works have been done, Ruwebu Corner, if you go to Remba Road, if you go to some areas where these lights have been put, you will find that the night economy business has been boosted. So that one itself means a lot, that people have benefited some income right away. They work from day and night.
This is witnessed around Ruwebu Corner, near Kacheka Stadium, as attested by the city dwellers.
Kuba dunji maze myaka 18 dukozesa kati byaterere kubera no n'abatuze tutambira ko turi burunji n'ebitara byaka
kumkureba orugutoro karube munonga tukatsi twine hora ikisenkezi noreba hati haro technology advance ingere twine hora itsi.
The success of all this has been due to proper planning and working in liaison with the relevant stakeholders. Mbarara City Mayor Robert Kachebezi continues to be part of the progress.
You know, on this same project where I'm standing on Major Victor Van, I think much of what is remaining and which can also be done within a shortest possible time is the level of street lights. But the walkways are being completed, stone pitching is being done, so at least now I can fully say that by the close of the more extended time, we shall have completed everything.
Similar optimism would be shared by Ntungamo municipality if all factors were constant. But then not. some elements are still lacking for USMID to be fully successful here.
We are supposed now to be using this facility to the maximum. You see now people are constructing the way how you see, they are constructing near the road, because here they are supposed to do the work, they beautify and put in lights. All those things are not there. But anyway, we shall wait and see.
He wants Ntungamo to share the same beauty and progress as is the case with other urban centers in this cluster.
Once this project is done, the economic activities here will increase, and the municipality and the district as whole will now, the revenue will have will have to increase.
In this cluster, the urban areas are 3. 2 are municipalities, while the other is a city. The 2 could be aspiring to become cities, and USMID project remains one of the avenues towards that direction. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Now, residents of Ngoma Town Council in Nakaseke district are asking government for a new district. This comes at a time the sub-county is ranked second in milk production as of June 2024, when World Milk Day celebrations was held. Nakaseke North Constituency Member of Parliament Nyongore Enoch tabled the request before the president during his visit to Ngoma sub-county last month.
The collection centers we have now in this entire request that we are bang. It's quite a long distance. So when the unit will be here, everything, the services would be near to them. Your Excellency, the road, the Tamaka road from Butarangu actually recognized our efforts in the war.
In the quest for a new district, the people of Ngoma sub-county cite long distance to the district headquarters as one of the factors. They say poor roads, poor education system, and inadequate health services remain stumbling blocks to area development.
When Ngoma region is granted the district status, it's going to improve service delivery. As the president noted, there is a problem with service delivery. The health unit is in a deplorable state. The road network is...
Due to its increasing population, we are requesting for a creation of Ngoma district. A new district, it means we are going to get a referral hospital and people get service, good healthy services near them. It means we are going to get a full road unit that will help us have better road network and so many other issues. We have so many services that we need. We have a challenge of long distances.
Already we mobilized the resolutions from the sub-counties, and our quest is already with the Minister of Local Government. I want to thank all the leaders of this area who supported this initiative of Greater Ngoma Development Foundation, and today we are blessed that the President heard our request, and he also realizes that services are not available for our population. You also acknowledge that actually such a vast area where you have to move like almost 100 kilometers to Kampala, our health services are not up to standard. Our roads are not up to standard.
However, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Local Government, Ben Kumumanya, decries lack of enough budget to facilitate the formally created districts, including Mitoma, Karaki, and Chotera, among others.
The new districts, we created a number of districts, town councils, cities, and municipalities. But later, we found that we needed bigger budgets, adequate budgets to deal with that matter. As a result, we put up a moratorium that until we have finalized to have adequate resources to support the current ones, we should not be able to create new ones. Therefore, we are currently operating under a moratorium.
The last time new administrative units were formed was in 2020, when 10 municipalities were elevated to city status. This was before Terego district was carved out of Maracha in the West Nile sub-region of northern Uganda. Nahabwe C. Barry for UBC News.
As we look into afforestation, local leaders in PG district are championing efforts to restore forests and preserve wetlands. According to Martin Sejemba, the LCA5 chairperson PG district, restoring natural forests and encouraging the community to protect the environment is key to human existence and better living.
Hundreds of residents of PG district have participated in a tree planting exercise in the governor's forest. The 2-acre land used for the tree planting exercise was generously donated by the elderly grandmother of the LC5 chairperson of Mpigi, Martin Sejemba.
We have seen the loss of forestry cover in the hands of those who are supposed to protect it, but then it is our duty to restore it. This is an exemplary site, governor's forest, to champion and pioneer, also answering the call of the Kabaka of restoration and protecting his area, and we are also responsible.
According to the local leaders, their mission is not only to green their area, but also to encourage the community to protect and conserve the environment.
We are lucky enough that we are in Greater Kampala now, and Greater Kampala has put much emphasis and a bigger budget on climate change, in restoration of the forests, planting trees, reserving the wetlands and all of that. So we are bringing back our natural trees, Entasesa, Mivule, Misizi. Actually, I've taken long without seeing the Jirikiti. I've seen it now.
Mpigi district has continued to drastically lose its green vegetation, especially trees, due to human activities and the expansion of Kampala city.
We encourage people to plant trees in the small piece of land that they can have. So we are going to rotate this project in many sub-counties around Mpigi district, because we are in the process of bargaining land in each sub-county.
Growing young people's passion for environmental conservation guarantees the existence of Uganda's current and future generation.
Now, the National Fisheries Resources Research Institution, or Institute NAFRI, has started a conservation program to save Lake Nyaga due to the repeated depletion. The program will be managed together with the 3 Lake Nyaga sharing districts of Palisa, Kumi and Ngora, and district leaders have signed a memorandum of understanding on this program.
Conservation of water resources and habitats will revive all resources in the country. A research by Natural Fisheries Research Institute shows that Lake Nyaguo in eastern Uganda is habitat for unique fish species, which is good for consumption and study purposes.
It's a unique biodiversity. It has rich biodiversity in terms of fish, it has rich biodiversity in terms of birds and reptiles, the fauna and flora generally. These plants are different. When you go to other places, some unique species are here and are not in other Lake Choga or small water lakes, small lakes.
Lake Nyaguo is shared by districts of Palisa, Ngora and Kumi, but faces extinction and depletion, which has also undermined the fish stocks.
Challenges that are facing this lake are many, to include, first of all, there are many illegalities. Today they're talking of beach seines, boat seines, small seines, monofilaments. So the board should actually help them to monitor some of these illegalities and monitor the activities and try to reverse and sensitize people about the advantages of actually sustainably using the lake, but also to ensure that the lake is there for the generations to come, because I'm sure all these people also found the lake there. So there is need not only to fish, but to use the lake sustainably and to ensure that they also get meaningful incomes.
3 chief administrative officers from Palisa, Ngora and Kumi districts have signed an MOU with Nafiri. The initiative is supported by Seglof.
On behalf of government, I want to hand over this boat that was procured under the Seglof project to the 3 districts of Ngora, Palisa and Kumi for God and my country.
It doesn't stop them from using it for patrolling here and there and sensitizing. But the boat can be used even for other social activities. For instance, there could be an immunization campaign across or in another landing site.
So, residents will also be involved to abide by rules and regulations to conserve Lake Nyaguo.
Njagala abantu ba ku kyalo naddala Palisa, Kumi, Ngora tukozese envuba ennungi n'eryato lyaffe tulibeere nga tulikuuma bulungi. Singa tukozesa envuba ennungi tugenda kulaba nga tubeera n'okugobagana mu nnyanja.
Lake Nyaguo is a satellite lake connected to Lake Kyoga through a swamp that is habitat to many aquatic species. Abiona Francisco and Samuel Katandi, UBC News.
Thank you, Ahabiona. Now, the Director of Public Prosecution, Lady Justice Jan Francis Sabodo, is championing the cause of quality education for the Karamojong people to ensure socio-economic transformation and empowerment among the Karamojongs. A total of 57 students from Karamoja sub-region have accomplished their bachelor's degree courtesy of a loan scheme organized by ISAT.
Nyaga sub-region is witnessing a wave of educational reforms aimed at fostering a culture of learning and empowerment, ensuring that the youth of Karamoja are equipped to contribute to their community's socio-economic development.
In the 10-point program of the NRM, it is point number 8 that they are going to educate Karamoja, because that's the only way that Karamoja actually is going to develop, because for a long time, like the chief guest said, Karamoja has been ignored by both the colonial governments and past governments. So this particular program by ISAT is huge. It means so much. It means everything. It means development for the region. It means also for the families who have these children who have been here for the last 3 years.
I really say thank you so much for ISAT for offering me the course that I have done. So it's my promise that I have to use it to transform my community.
Karamoja, known for its rich cultural heritage and unique landscape, faces numerous obstacles in providing quality education to its children, which include, but not limited to, poverty and lack of learning materials.
Give us free, really free, compulsory boarding education for 15 years. And even because I'm a statistician, we did even the computations that to take children through from P1 up to joining university, just through the whole lot of primary, secondary, then going tertiary.
Despite these challenges, there are ongoing efforts to address the educational barriers in Karamoja. Among these is the ongoing student loan offered by ISAT University, which offers scholarships and feeding to youths in Karamoja.
Have been offering bursary support to eligible students of science and science streams from various parts of this country. We have even fully sponsored students in the Faculty of Engineering. So later on we had an internal discussion on certain regions which are backward. So I'm told I was given to understand the nature of economic background that exists in the region called Karamoja.
Of access is so important because globally, if you don't have people accessing higher education, then development takes much higher.
The university was also pleased to pronounce its achievement in the education sector, having been ranked among the top 10 universities in sub-Saharan Africa with the best teaching skills, a study conducted by the Times Higher Education.
The benefit of that we got that we are focusing on how the quality education can be provided, but the journey was not very easy because in providing the quality education, what we need, experienced and qualified faculty members.
Irene Faith Nantongo, Mary Namukose, UBC News.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby dondolo.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks, Kubei Dondolo. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
MTN! Tusako Hajaruna Mbiru live in concert Friday nga mwenda August. Hajaruna Mbiru huyo! Kusenda Hotel Rocktown nga mwenda August. Monshoja atumye Hajaruna Mbiru live in concert. VIP ya mtwalo 15. Tokawa jigula kumomo ya mtwalo 10. Hate meze ya milioni 3. Nyiga kamunyenye. Emo mkaga 5 kamunyenye 20 kadara. Oba downloading ya momo app. Wakule ticket kusente ntono. Nga 10 August. Kolini hotel mukono. Ticket ya shinjo mtwalo kumu. Boa jigula ngo kosa momo. Jigula 15. VIP mtwale 3. Nga 10 August. Maria Frema Saka. Shinze mtwale 2. Boa jigula ngo kosa momo ya mtwalo kumu. VIP mtwale 5. Ate momo. Mtwale 3 na chitundu. Bitege kedwa keti events. Waurone riwagirwa.
MTN. Together, we're unstoppable.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
Where does it come from? That thing that makes us Ugandan. Some say it's in our history, in our culture, and in our hearts, in our warm smiles and vast miles of coffee. It's in our inherent pursuit to always be better, to never stop growing and glowing. We are a nation of sweat and skills, a nation of ideas and inventions. But what truly makes us Ugandan is our quest to invest in agribusiness, manufacturing, tourism, infrastructure, health and education to improve the quality of life of Ugandans. That's what makes us Uganda Development Bank.
Uganda Development Bank, inspiring development.
Welcome to the world of business. Now in 2023 calendar year, Uganda Development Bank created and maintained a total of 51,841 jobs. This as per just the released UDB Development Impact Report by the country's National Development Finance Institution. Besides creating a significant employment opportunity, the bank is gratified for supporting the country's sustainable socio-economic transformation and growth.
Contributed 236.1 billion in tax revenue to the government, which will be used for the economy, for the country's social development. And we also generated forex earnings of 953 billion. On behalf of the government, we have made a firm commitment to a comprehensive, far-reaching, people-centered set of universal and transformative social inclusion targets. These targets prioritize the participation of the youth, women, and people with disabilities, and we are dedicated to working tirelessly to improve their involvement.
Bank's interventions in the infrastructure development focuses mainly on energy infrastructure. This is generation, transmission, and distributions. Under this, we have, again, we partner with key government institutions to deliver electricity, for example, connection to the households that are not able to afford that, but also in the water space to supply water the households that hitherto probably would not afford to directly connect to water. And then this, if you look at, for example, road construction and rehabilitation was at 56%, and the power line construction and maintenance was at 11%. And these were real key priorities.
Now, news just in. President Yoweri Museveni is expected to be in Nebbi Town Council tomorrow to grace a Thanksgiving ceremony of the State Minister for Mineral Development, Fiona Nyamutoro. Now, the people of Greater Nebbi are expecting him to speak about pressing issues like the Alur land and the West Nile as a sub-region, some of the issues that they are facing, and then bad roads connecting from Nebbi, Zombo through Vura Customs to Arua City, inadequate drugs at Nebbi General Hospital, power tariffs and corruption, among others, are some of the things that are expected from the president.
Our hospital, if you go to hospital there, you cannot get medicine. The work of hospital is just write to you, we send you outside to go and buy outside in the clinic. The second one is the road. Our road going to Paida is not good. If there is rain, no going. The vehicle stuck on the road. We want president to talk with them.
To welcome and host the president in our area upon his cheerful heart of appointment towards one of us who happens to be our own Secretary for Female Affairs in the District Youth Council of Nebbi. She doubles as the Member of Parliament representing the young people. And now that the President in his own wisdom has given her the appointment as a minister, we now feel the minister should be moving on a better road. We do not want to hear a case where a minister is stuck on a road. He is resourceful enough to put us right with his institutional knowledge that we want to borrow from him.
Currently, as we talk, power tariffs are very high. Sometimes, and they're varying. You'll find someone comes and buys power for 5,000 or 10,000. The token that is given to him is different from the other one that is given. How I wish the government, the president, tackles that and he talks about the reduction of the tariffs to at least something that is affordable.
In Zombo, we don't have district hospital. So as a district chairperson, on behalf of people of Zombo, I am requesting His Excellency to see into this.
Now, quickly, before we do our sign out, let's delve a little bit into the world of sports, where on a day that athletics starts for Uganda at the Paris 2024 Olympics, rowing and swimming have done Uganda proud. Let's hear more from John Barnes Centum.
It's all celebrations for Uganda at the Olympics following decent results by the rower Kathleen Noble and the swimming youngster Jesse Sengonzi. Two-time Olympian rower Kathleen Noble finished with an impressive sub-8, 7:56.10 in the single-scull E-final at the Varese Marine Nautical Stadium in France.
I'm really happy with that race. I feel like that was my best race ever. I got a new national record by 10 seconds, which is amazing. It was a real fight, very close racing between all the girls, and I went out there. I feel like I raced my best race, and I'm really proud of it.
The result achieved with a personal best time and a new national record means that she finishes 26th overall, which is the same she attained at the 2020 Olympics.
For me, it's very, very important that as a non-rowing nation, we can be able to perform so well ahead of other rowing nation countries. So I'm very proud of Kathleen.
Her coach, Dr. James Martinez, is impressed and believes Uganda will build from here to become formidable.
Perfectly tactical race for the semifinal and a wonderful final where she laid it all out on the line. A healthy race for her. She bested her personal best by 10 seconds from 8:06 to 7:56, which is unheard of. Had a little bit of a tailwind that helps, but no, she's coming to her best race here in the final. So.
Nobo came to these games off a medical layoff and has surpassed expectations at the grandest of stages.
In April, she did an 8:06. Coming into this, she was not well, and coming into the Olympics, she wasn't well, and she had to regain her fitness in a very short amount of time. So this is amazing, amazing, amazing.
Despite not progressing, a youngster Jesse Sengonzi gave it his all and finished second in the 100 meters butterfly swimming heat. During his time in the pool at the Paris La Défense Aquatic Center, Jesse set the new national record at 53.76 seconds.
I have been working a lot on coming back fast and not going out too fast. Historically, I've had a little bit too much top end speed going forward, so I wanted to control myself. I might have done that a little bit too much because I split, I think, half a second slower than I've split in my previous best time. But what that meant is I had a wealth of energy coming back, and I saw the guy next to me and I wanted to do as much as possible to try to catch up to him. So I focused on having a nice push off the wall and good underwaters, and then just tried to close as well as I could.
Athletics starts for Uganda today, while Charles Kajimo will on Saturday go in the 255-kilometer men's cycling road race.
It feels really nice, really good to be here, and yeah, I've had a mix of good and bad days over the past few days of being here. Yeah, I got sick from the opening ceremony, but yeah, so far now I've recovered really well. I'm not feeling really great with the legs, you know, after sickness, after having a virus in the body. It's always quite different and quite hard on the body, but yeah, but I'm ready. There's nothing else to do, so yeah, I'm really ready for tomorrow.
Well, it's time for us to shine out. It has been a pleasure. My name is Patricia Lukoma. Let's meet again at 10 o'clock. Stay with us.